Silicon Valley, technology, art, green, and sustainability.
Welcome to another episode of Silicon Valley Tech, Art, Green, and Sustainability, SVTAGS. Today I'm very honored to have a fellow Californian. I didn't know that about you. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
And also a West Valley graduate and then a San Jose State person as well. Robert Scoble, thank you for joining us. You're a blogger, tech evangelist. You do kind of a lot of things, so it's going to be fun to hear what you do and how it came about. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your history.
Well, history goes a long way back now.
Yeah, well, whatever you want to share.
I'm almost 50, and I grew up in Cupertino.
And you look very young. So,
thank you very much. My dad was an engineer here in Silicon Valley, worked at Lockheed for almost 3 decades, building military satellites and microelectronics. And that got me my start on the love of new things and understanding where the future came from. I got a tour when I was in junior high of Apple when it was one little building, and now they're building a huge campus over in Cupertino. It's really crazy to watch.
I think I read that you used to help your mom assemble parts or something too.
Yeah, that's a fun story, a Silicon Valley story. Back in 1977, Apple, when they were building their Apple II, their first product, they ran out of manufacturing capability, and Woz said he hired Hildy Licht in the Valley, who had a group of housewives in the Valley that would build motherboards and different things, and she still is in business today. You can still hire her to have people make things for you.
I had a great aunt that used to work on the Memorex line.
Yeah.
And which is no longer.
No, in high school I worked at HP in their headquarters on a wave solder machine, a machine that soldered motherboards. And I thought that was the coolest thing because it did in 1 minute what I did in an hour and a half at home.
So you've had the tech like way back then. You had your hands on it in high school. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, a lot of my friends went on to be programmers and game designers and stuff like that.
When most of us were like just trying to get over to the beach on our spare time, you were tooling around with the tech stuff, which is really cool.
Now I live in Half Moon Bay, right by the beach, so you can come and visit me.
Let's see. Let's pull up the first slide too. I love this this picture of you. I don't know how how did you do that? Was it just an Apple application or?
No. You mean the
right
sunset?
One. Yeah.
No, I was a friend of mine shot that photo on her iPhone 6 Plus, and it was just a beautiful sunset near Half Moon Bay, and I was holding up my iPhone and taking a picture, and she thought it was cool.
It's great. It looks like you photo touched the colors. It's just so amazing.
I might have touched it up a little bit in this app called Snapseed, but everything was done on the phone, so you don't even need to use Photoshop. Of course, that's Hersey in San Jose.
You've got the Canon there, and is that San Francisco in the background?
No, that's Seattle. I was doing a photo walk with a famous photographer, Chase Jarvis, up in Seattle, and Chris Krug shot that of me. If you notice, it looks like there's a light on me, and there was an intern with a flash out on the waterfront at Lake Union up in Seattle.
Seattle's a great place.
Yeah, I used to live there for a couple of years while I worked at Microsoft. So.
Right. So your background, you grew up in the area, you went to school in the area, and then you worked for Microsoft. Tell us a little bit about that.
That came along. There's a lot of living in there.
Yeah.
As I was going to West Valley in the '80s, and I met Steve Wozniak, who was a co-founder of Apple at the community college, and studied with him and talked him out of $40,000 for our journalism department. And so I was always into computers and technology and journalism. I was really big into photography. I helped.
So you were the one responsible for the Apples at San Jose State then?
I wasn't totally responsible, but in the journalism department, they just bought 100 when I arrived there, and they didn't know what to do with them. And they were paying some consultant like $100 an hour. And I said, I have the summer free. Let me set them up.
That's awesome.
At West Valley, I had to do the same thing. The teacher there, Rich Cameron, made me set them up because I got this donation from Woz. So.
And I remember the '89 earthquake being at West Valley and going into the computer lab. And the girl was just completely freaked out, and that was the old DOS language, right? Yeah. And then I got to San Jose State, and it was great. It was Macs or Intuitive, which was just great.
We did have Macs. The next day or 2 days later, we printed a newspaper And we did it at a friend's house on a Macintosh that we had taken out of the classroom because the school was closed down. We needed someplace to go work. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that was San Jose State or West Valley?
that was West Valley in '89.
Yeah.
I got to West Valley, to San Jose State in 90-ish.
Yeah. So we
yeah.
were there at the same time. How funny.
Yeah.
So your current career, let's pull up the next slide. Your current career, Rackspace.
Yeah.
And actually, so this was some of the photos that came up from Rackspace.
Yeah, we are a big cloud computing company. So if you watch a TED video, you're watching a video coming off of our servers in our data centers, and it's a great company. I'm one of the public faces of the company. So there's 7,000 employees, and we're a worldwide company. We have offices in Hong Kong, Sydney, London, Tel Aviv, Mexico City.
And you guys
mostly
sponsored the NAB last year too, the
Yeah.
National Association of Broadcasters, for folks that don't know.
Yeah.
Which of course makes sense because of the big servers, right?
YouTube used to be hosted on Rackspace, so video is a big part of our business. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to look into that, right? As I've got like 10 hard drives now, 3 terabytes, and
we have a few 100,000, I think,
yeah,
if not a few million.
a little bit better than what I've got as the home office thing.
The data center though is getting rid of hard drive. Seagate used to sponsor my show, so I've been over in Wuxi, China, at the Seagate factory and watch how they're making things. But data centers are going less and less hard drives, or hard drives are there for the slower stuff. And then everything else is on SSD now, flash memory. Sort of like your new MacBooks have no hard drives anymore.
Yeah, this is an old trusty one. I had to trade it in.
More reliable and faster, a lot faster, and particularly for databases and things.
Wow. So Microsoft. So how did you get started with that? I thought it was like you left San Jose State to go to Microsoft.
No. I worked at a little computer programming magazine that nobody had ever heard of. That was my first job because I couldn't.
What was it called?
Basic Pro back then.
Okay.
And out of San Jose State, my editor had gotten an internship there and got me an internship there too. I couldn't get a job at the newspapers, right, like the San Jose Mercury News or the San Francisco Chronicle, which is where most of the journalists.
And now they all want you to write for them.
Yeah, maybe here or there. The news world has radically changed since I was in school, but yeah, I couldn't get a job there, so I found this little computer programming magazine, and I was always interested in technology. At San Jose State, I wrote a column called The Spartan Nerd, which was all about new technology that was coming out in the early 90s, and that was the years of Windows 95 and Windows NT and Mac OS 7. That's
wow.
A long time ago now.
Yeah.
I'm getting old.
I think I still have, when I finished San Jose State, I have like the very first Mac I bought for my home office is still in the basement, like collecting dust. Need to recycle that.
Yeah.
And your book. So we met at the Google Developers Group, Age of Context. Let's pull that slide up right now too. There was some interesting photos. This
Of
one
me and
here,
my
I love
co-author.
that photo of the two of you. Where was that? It looks like there's a green screen or something.
That's in my studio. I have a little studio like you guys do here where I do video interviews. And that's really what Rackspace pays me to do. They asked me to go around the world and study startups and study the future, go to R&D labs, see where the future's coming. And then that's what led to the discussion of the book.
So they have you going out and looking at things so you can evangelize new deals and products. And
well, not necessarily evangelize. At Microsoft I was actually evangelizing, which means you were working with developers to try to get them to build, believe in the future that you're presenting them, and to build software for that new future. So at Microsoft I was trying to get people to build stuff for Windows and tablets and stuff like that. At Rackspace I'm a little different. I'm trying to brand the company, keep it relevant, make sure that they see the future so they don't miss it. Because Silicon Valley's history, it's paved on the failures of so many companies. How many big companies have been in this valley and are gone?
Right.
Yesterday I was at Facebook, and their headquarters is the former Sun Microsystems headquarters.
Pets.com.
Well, those are failures because the market wasn't there. But we're seeing stuff like that come back.
The market crashed at that point too, right?
Yeah.
The .com demise. I think that was 2001 or 2002.
So the book is about wearable computers, sensors, big data, social network data, and location data all fusing together to make a new kind of operating system possible. When the guys built the Mac or Bill Gates built Windows, This thing has no sensors, and it's not designed to be carried around in your hand. Now, just by moving to the mobile phone, we have 7 to 10 sensors on the phone, including the new phone can even tell how far you lift it off the table because the air pressure changes, right? And soon we're going to be wearing things that tell us all sorts of stuff about our bodies. You know, I saw a new sensor yesterday that is similar to the one underneath the Apple Watch, which is going to tell you heart rate and oxygen level in your blood and all sorts of fun stuff.
So it's going to have everything that you would go to the doctor to do, but also your sensors for walking and heart rate and blood pressure.